Game 4 of a 5-game series. Congratulations are in order for the Cleveland Indians and their wonderful fans as they settle back to see who they will be playing starting next Tuesday night. Now here's tonight's Budweiser starting lineup for the New York Yankees. The left-handed hitters are back. Wade Boggs will lead it off. Bernie Williams, Paul O'Neill, Ruben Sierra, Don Mattingly, Dion James out in left. Mike Stanley catching again. Tony Fernandez at short, and Randy Velarde moves from left to second base. So a much more potent lineup here, Jim Cott.
Well, they're always a better ball club against right-hand pitchers, but when you face a right-hand pitcher like Chris Bosio, it's a little different challenge. Wade Boggs is only a 200-hitter lifetime. Why is that? Well, Bosio has an assortment of pitches. Really a challenge to these guys to wait on him.
The plate umpire tonight is Rocky Rowe. Big fella. You'll be able to pick him out. There's the crew. Jim Evans, the chief. Good umpire down at first base. Now, one thing to remember about Rocky Rowe as he settles in, folks, he's loud. But he set a short time. I don't know if I can get above 50,000. We're about to find out. Nope, the crowd's going to win tonight, Rocky. You were right. We are not going to hear you.
You heard that little ball strike. Rocky with that body looks like he may have just come from Husky Stadium. Played linebacker this afternoon.
Well protected as he looks in. Line drive by Boggs. Griffey goes over into the gap. And Boggs will lead off game 4 with a double. He thought for a moment, and then he said, let's not be foolish. Let's hold right here at second base. Defensively, Jimmy, here is the Mariners, how they line up tonight.
Same alignment as last night. We talked about their errors in the infield, but the opposite in the outfield. The strong throwing arm of Jay Buhner gunned down Randy Velarde last night. That's key play in the game. 3 assists already in the series.
Bernie Williams, hard to believe, the first switch hitter in history to ever hit a home run from each side of the plate in a postseason game. If you're like me, you guessed immediately, oh, the great Mickey Mantle had to have done it. And if not Mick, maybe Eddie Murray, maybe some of the other fine switch hitters. And there you see Bernie with the number 7, honoring the legendary Mick and ready to go to work.
Tells you how those seasonal and career numbers sometimes you throw right out the window. Here's a guy that Wade Boggs said very difficult for him to wait on and hit. And he leads off the game with a double. And his hamstring is almost completely healed, so he's running at full speed.
Boggs out at second. Bosio very patient. Lead-off double. Trying to work his way through the first inning, and now Williams will take his time and dig in back there. Quick start by the Yankees takes 50,000 throats out of it. Drive going to fall in right field. Buhner with an arm. He showed it last night. It'll come in, and Boggs will hold it third. So immediately a double and a single. Men at the corners, nobody out, and here comes Paul O'Neill.
As you see, Chris Bosio has had trouble in the first inning, and these early innings are going to be key for both pitchers. For the Yankees, because a couple of runs off Bosio can quiet this crowd down a little bit.
Infield back. Flowers well off of third base. Soho step or two towards second with the left-handed hitting O'Neill out. The kind of start that Lou Piniella wanted tonight from Chris Bosio.
And Paul O'Neill with those kind of numbers against Chris Bosio in a very favorable hitting count right now. Pick out a pitch in his favorite area.
2-0. tell you, we heard Rocky bellow that strike call, didn't we? One of the things about O'Neill, one of the reasons why the infield is back, he has grounded into a lot of double plays this year. In fact, a total of 25, and that was high for any player in Major League Baseball today. So the Mariners would concede one, but right away Lou Piniella is going to send a long man sauntering down toward the bullpen, down the left field line. Can't afford to wait tonight. Mariners must win or they're eliminated. Out of play.
Yeah, the game plan, if you can have one in baseball, because you just never know. Jeff Nelson, Bobby Ayala working their way down to the bullpen. Game plan would be about 5 or 6 for Bosio, and then we'd see Tim Belcher.
Now the crowd tries to climb in. Get Bosio up on a wave of support if they can. 3-2. Dome time. His Buckeyes came through with a huge win today. And the bases are loaded with no one out, and Ruben Sierra stepping to the plate.
Going to the phone immediately, Bobby Cuellar. As you mentioned, Brett, they cannot wait long, trailing 2-1.
Ruben Sierra, he'll bat left-handed against Bosio. Bosio missing outside again here, Jim.
Well, it's a tough situation for Bosio. Hasn't found his control, and Ruben Sierra, great mistake hitter. If you don't put it right on the outside corner, that's when he does his damage. Anything outside third in.
High fly behind at third base. Blowers could be chased to it, and Blowers with his back to the plate makes the throw home. Blowers, what a play, but he's safe. He beats it on the tag, Wade Boggs, but Blowers made a magnificent defensive play. They will appeal down there at third base. I didn't think there was any chance that Blowers would get close with this throw.
What a remarkable catch. Doug Strange was in the lineup to start with because of Blowers getting hit in the shoulder blades. Not only the over-the-shoulder catch, but to turn and throw it accurately to home. Great reaction by Mike Blowers, and throws it right on target. Wade Boggs just got the lead leg in. And Rocky Rowe right there on the call. Again, another look at how far Blowers had to go. And it was only Boggs recovering from that hamstring injury.
Here's the appeal at third base. And the third base umpire, Tim Wilkie, said no, that Boggs waited. Now here's Blowers going back. No question about it, even as we edit from one machine to another, that Boggs gave himself plenty of time, made a nice slide. Wilson was unable to completely block off all the play. So Don Mattingly now steps in. Yankees break out on top here in the top of the first inning of Game 4. If the Yankees win, they will open Tuesday night against the Indians in Cleveland. If the Mariners win, Game 5 right back here at the Kingdome tomorrow night. Mattingly ready now. 1 ball, no strikes.
Good numbers against Bosio, as most of the Yankee hitters do.
1-1. Up the middle, and it gets by a diving Joey Cora, and This will score 2. Mattingly drives in 2 runs, and it is a 3-0 lead for the Yankees here in the top of the first. Someone said to us last night, we're going to play an 11-10 game tomorrow night. Who knows?
Well, the important thing for the Yankees and for Mattingly coming off that 3 strikeout night, looks like the early batting practice paid off a little bit. You see the great concentration watching the ball hit the bat, and off this live turf at the Kingdome, Cora with a nice effort cannot get leather on it.
Manila and the Mariners in a deep hole in the top of the first. Dion James, the Yankee hitter right now. Don Mattingly, the mark of a great player, has one of his worst nights ever. Comes back out at noon the next day, just what you would expect. Stands in that batting cage, gets enough practice, and is able to slip one through on the artificial turf and score 2 more runs here in the top of the first inning. Such a much more dangerous team with the left-handed hitters in the lineup and going against a right-handed pitcher, and I'm sure the Indians take a note of that through the year.
The Indians know how well the Yankees have played against them, but also they wouldn't look forward to the prospect of facing Randy Johnson here in Game 1 at the Kingdome either.
Everyone in the playoffs, I think, was hoping for the big unit to go on an early vacation. 3-0. There is Randy. Another magnificent performance, keeping the Mariners season alive. He did it in the 1-game playoff against the Angels, and again here last night against the Yankees. High chopper to Cora now, and he'll get Mattingly on the force, and then he's forced him to throw it away. So Mattingly, barging into Cora, is able to break that one up, and they cannot complete the double play. Jim, are you surprised that Cora just didn't throw it to his shortstop?
Yeah, or the way he tagged him. I mean, Don Mattingly's getting some boos from the Kingdome crowd. That's understandable, but this is exactly what you do as a base runner. See, Cora reaches in to tag him in the midsection, and that gave Mattingly a chance to knock him over. You come in and just make the brush tag, and then you can make an accurate throw. And Joey Cora has had some problems at second base all year, more errors than any other American League second baseman. Of course, that he will not get charged with an error on because it was a potential double play and James not able to advance on the overthrow.
But it does give Mickey Stanley an at bat here in the first inning. I mean, Mike, I think I said, I'm still thinking of those days when he was switched to shortstop.
Yeah, he played in postseason about 25 years ago, Mickey Stanley, with the Tigers.
Mayo Smith, who made that switch,
moved him to shortstop in the '68 World Series. You can see Bosio really feeling his way through this first inning. And if he could get 5 or 6, you could understand that's all they could expect. Only 3 other pitchers in the American League had averaged fewer innings per start than Bosio.
Ball and a strike to Stanley. James away from first. One and two.
Kind of crowd reaction probably works against Bosio. You know, for Randy Johnson, it pumps him up. Bosio doesn't want to try to throw the ball hard and get a strikeout. He's a ground ball pitcher.
James away. And he got Stanley. But not before the Yankees and Don Mattingly put 3 runs on the board. Here's tonight's Budweiser starting lineup for the Seattle Mariners, and a familiar lineup indeed. Vince Coleman in that leadoff spot. Joey Cora, Ken Griffey Jr., Edgar Martinez, Tino Martinez, Jay Buhner, Mike Blowers, Luis Sojo, and Dan Wilson, with the veteran Vince Coleman stepping into that left-handed and see what he can do here against Scott Kamienicki. And you said an interesting thing, that Kamienicki somewhat shaky in the first inning, even though he has been spectacular in the month of September and down the stretch for the Yankees.
Pitched his only complete game a week ago Saturday, but his earned run average in the first inning much higher. Scott is a nibbler. Now, that was a challenging fastball there, but he tends to nibble, try to catch the corners of the plate, walks a lot of hitters.
Ground ball, Velarde on one hop, makes the throw. Randy Velarde, those Yankee fans, and here in Seattle, and of course in our region last night, who watched it was Velarde, who was the GOAT defensively out in left field, but now they have moved him to second base, and James out in left field with Wade Boggs, who has been spectacular at third base in the first 2 games of this series. He sat out last night. So defensively, the Yankees have been very strong this year despite their problems last night.
You see the errorless games in the infield, and Velarde's a good example. He plays solid at shortstop, now moves to second, and that's important because Kamienicki is more of a ground ball pitcher.
Joey Cora taking a strike, and so the first 2 hitters that face Kamienicki, Scott jumps out ahead of him. Scott Kamienicki is a very interesting story. Has a degree from the University of Michigan. Pretty good looking breaking ball that missed there that time, but a young man who came from a very poor background, and he was offered a lot of money as an undergraduate, turned it down to get the degree, and he has worked hard for whatever he has earned.
His confidence right now, Brent, is sky high. He had the sprained elbow early in the season. He was programmed to be the number 4 starter in the Yankee rotation behind Key, McDowell, and Melito Perez. There's Key and Perez not even active anymore.
Trying to get Cora so Griffey will bat with the bases empty. Cora will try to give Griffey a base runner here, as Jr. was shut down last night by the Yankees, drawing a walk and going out 3 times. Griffey lit up the Bronx night back in Yankee Stadium. Anytime you can face Jr. with no one on, it is a huge plus. "25 years old. One of the really great young players to come along. Born and raised to play Major League Baseball." Whoa, Cora.
That'll get your attention. Certainly not what Joey Cora is looking for in that situation.
And now Lou is using this, I think, to stir things up over there, ladies and gentlemen. He's a riverboat gambler, and he'll play hard.
I mean, Cora's right on the plate. I mean, that pitch is not that far inside, but it's right up around the bill of the cap.
But Lou will do anything now to see if he can shake him up. And here's a base runner for Jr. Now, they know that Kamienicki is a little bit hyper. He was way ahead in the count. Dribbles the ball off the artificial turf. Mattingly immediately goes over to talk to him to try and settle him down. They do not need nerves here jangling on that pitcher's mound. They've got a good, solid 3-run lead.
There's the failures of Scott Kamienicki in the first inning. ERA over 5. And he is one of the top pitchers in the American League, whichever way you care to look at it, as far as base on ball. He walks about 5 a game. A lot of success with Jr. See, he nibbles, and Junior's an aggressive hitter. He does not like to walk, and he chases a lot of pitches against Kamienicki.
Kamienicki and Griffin. Low.
Probably the sweetest looking swing in baseball right now, with the wrist healed and the timing much improved.
Slap foul, and of course if Griffey can't reach base, Edgar Martinez, the American League batting champion, would step up with the tying run. One of the classy hitters, one of the great unknown stories in baseball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. He went too far. He has punched out Griffey. Huge strikeout for Kamienicki here in the first inning.
Not only a huge second out, but a crowd quieting strikeout. And his success against Junior continues. Gets ahead with a fastball, and Kamienicki with a good overhand curveball that Griffey cannot hold up on.
What about sending Cora in this situation and taking an aggressive approach to Mike Stanley here early on?
I don't think with the Mariners down 3 and a guy in the batter's box that can get you 2 runs with 1 swing. Pinella's a gambler, but I don't know that he'd try that. Kamienicki is one of the Yankees' better pitchers at holding runners on. If it were an easier pitcher to steal against, I think Lou's got some capable hitters right now, and Martinez, both Martinez, that can take it out of the ballpark.
Again, Kamienicki jumps ahead with the first pitch. Quick throw over, and we could see that was a lightning-like move out there.
In the 36 years I've been around big league baseball, Brent, I've never seen a manager pay more attention to base runners. Buck Showalter calls all those plays from the bench, a lot of step-offs, the quick step over there, hold the ball for a long period of time. And he got that in the minor leagues, coaching for Barry Foote, former big league catcher who played for Gene Mott. And that's where all of that comes from, the attention to the base runners. A lot of speed in the game of baseball today, and Buck pays close attention to it.
One and one.
Just the way he took that pitch. That's what impresses Wade Boggs when you ask him about Edgar Martinez. He said he can recognize. His pitch recognition is very impressive. He'll see Kamienicki throw 2 or 3 pitches, and now he'll be able to pick out the spin, and that only helps him wait a little longer and make better contact. A great series.
2 balls and 1 strike. The patience of great hitters through the years, Jimmy. I'd love to sit and listen to the old-timers tell the stories about Ted Williams, Stan Musial. Those hitters, they knew the strike zone and knew it very well.
And he wants to get as long a look as possible. I mean, he's got that back foot barely on the batter's box line.
His pitch, 3-1. In too tight now, and there's 2 on, and here comes the man who did major damage last night, Tino Martinez.
First baseman, number 23, Tino Martinez.
The Yankees lead it. Bottom of the first inning. It's 3-0. The Mariners with the tying run at the plate against Scott Kamienicki, and 2 out.
Sometimes the first inning becomes your 9th inning, and that's what this is for Kamienicki. This could be the most important out for him in the ball game. Not only because of the trouble he has in the first inning, his wildness, 2 walks already.
One time, first round draft choice by the Mariners. They have waited for him to turn in the kind of numbers that he did this year. 1-1 now with 2 out. the throw, and he's got him. And the Yankees and Scott Kamienicki are out of the first inning. The Yankees lead it 3-0. During that timeout, Lou Piniella with Joe Brinkman and Rocky Rowe continues his discussion on that pitch to Cora.
Yeah, this is a pretty animated conversation, and it goes back to this pitch from Scott Kamienicki. Joey Cora's hands are right over the plate. See, this ball is not that far inside, but it's near the bill of the cap. And Piniella immediately jumped up, walked over toward Dan Wilson, who's catcher, Chris Bosio. Said, hey, if they're going to do that to our hitters. And between innings, he wanted to make sure with umpires Joe Brinkman and Rocky Rowe, hey, if my guy throws one inside, I don't want you to warn him. And right now, the umpires are going to the mound to talk to Bosio.
And Wilson now will join them.
I mean, the umpire's job, of course, is to control the game and keep this from getting out of hand. Joe Brinkman explaining to Chris Bosio right now.
Scoreless in Atlanta, top of the second. What a gutty win that was for the Rockies.
Wow. Every one of them. Now, this is going on an awfully long time, and Piniella's going to come out. I don't understand the length of the conversation if it has to do with the knockdown pitch to Cora, because players can usually police that themselves. You know, if it gets out of hand, but this was one pitch a little bit high, barely off the plate. Now we could read Lou's lips last night. Can't read them last night after he took Randy Johnson out after 7 innings.
There are times when it's just as well that we can't.
That's right. This is what all the excitement is about. Joey Cora leaning over the plate. Pitch inside, knocks him off it.
Now they're bringing Buck Showalter out. Rocky Rowe and Brinkman are over on that side discussing with Showalter exactly why the delay and the discussion that is unfolding here at the Kingdome. Meanwhile, in case you just joined us, back in the top of the first inning, Wade Boggs, who took the night off, led off with a double, and the Yankees exploded with 3 runs.
Yeah, against a pitcher that Wade Boggs, very unusual, is a 200 lifetime hitter. Overhead view. You see where his helmet is hanging almost over the inside corner. And like so many hitters today, they dive into the ball. So it wasn't that the pitch was that far inside. But Piniella just wanted to make sure that he could instruct his pitcher. And I think right now Lou is using a little gamesmanship. His team is down 3 runs. He'd like nothing better than to get this crowd as riled up as they could get.
Yeah, he needs a little emotion so that the team and the fans don't get down on themselves. The Yankees have done what they had hoped they could do tonight. Jump ahead with a quick lead here in the Kingdome. And shortstop Tony Fernandez, batting left-handed, steps in against Bosio, and he takes a ball. Bosio has been off the strike zone. He has not been throwing strikes. Falling behind the hitters, and this one's going to go out of play down the left field line.
It's a typical first inning for both pitchers, but Kamienicki was able to get out of the first with a nice play by Fernandez. Bosio didn't fare as well, Mattingly getting the 2 RBI single.
And again, this time missing way high. At any moment, I would expect some activity down in that bullpen if he continues to throw as many balls as he has here so far.
1 base runner is probably all it'll take.
Soho. Fernandez is gone. Well, here comes the handiest Yankee of them all, Randy Velarde, who wore the goat horns last night because of not only that bad throw we alluded to, but also some base running, which may have taken the Yankees out of an inning. He turned too wide at second base, went too far towards third, and Jay Buhner cut him down from right field. But on the whole, Randy Velarde has been one of the most valuable players in pinstripes this year, playing all over the infield, some outfield again last night, and he has hit well, even though he's been battling a bit here in the playoffs. There's a nice breaking ball from Bosio. 0-1.
You think about Randy Velarde in spring training, was down at the Homestead free agent camp. Took a long time for the Yankees to finally sign him. One of those guys where the numbers don't really tell you the true story of his value to a ball club. You look at the home runs, RBIs, batting average.
Two and two. Even down 3, you got to believe.
Body language by pitchers tells you a lot. And we've seen both Kamienicki and Bosio looking in at Rocky Row. They'd like to see that strike zone expanded. Wilson's sitting way off the plate. It caught part of the plate, but obviously too low.
Might have obscured his view on the inside. He's set up so far wide, hard to tell for sure. And now Velarde is on with 1 out.
That's what the Yankee lineup does so well, Brent, and a lot of the credit goes to Rick Down, their hitting coach, but a lot of it to the guy in the batter's box right now, Wade Boggs. They watch his approach. They see him take pitchers into deep counts. It's helped Bernie Williams. It helps Randy Velarde, as it did in that at bat right there. They watch the way this guy hits.
Still intending to play for a number of years. When you ask Wade Boggs how much longer, he will tell you 3,000 hits. That's a goal of his. He will also admit, as he has to you, Jim Cott, that if he winds up closing out his career as a first baseman, it wouldn't shock him somewhat.
First baseman slash designated hitter. And to some fans that sounds selfish. You know, the most selfish player in the world that I was ever around was Pete Rose. Yet he was a great team player, because when you have a guy like this trying to get 3-4 hits a game for his personal goal, it also helps your club.
And they're up down in the bullpen. No surprise there as Bosio throws this one for a strike, and it's 2-1 on Boggs, who started it all back in the first inning when he led it off with a double. Two balls and 1 strike. Away from first. The Yankees up by 3. Top of the second. Two. Slapped it. Cora. Soho. Double up. 4-6-3. Yankees gone, but they're up by 3. Well, here the Yankees lead the Mariners 3-0, needing 1 victory to advance to Cleveland. Those of you who watched college football this afternoon know what an incredible upset Saturday this was. Still hard to believe that Kansas could go in and knock off Colorado, scoring 40 points, and that Northwestern could march through Ann Arbor and beat Michigan. Bottom of the second now, Jay Buhner slaps one foul and out of play. But you had the right horse.
No question. No question.
Cigar.
Yep.
Balls and a strike on Buhner. Ground ball. Boggs up with it on the turn. Bad throw, but Mattingly makes a nice play at the other end.
Gold Glove last year. Wade Boggs has really improved as a fielder. Limited range with that hamstring, but sure hands. And on the other end, they knocked down Mattingly all year because of his lack of power production. But the Yankees have to take a long look at how valuable he is at saving errors like this. I mean, not only catching the ball, but being able to reach up and make the flip tag. Not many first basemen make that play, if any.
Mike Flowers steps in. 1 out here in the bottom of the second inning, and the Mariners trail it by 3. And Jimmy, as we look at what's happened here, the Yankees jumping ahead so huge, the crowd has to force itself into the game. The Mariners perhaps down a little bit, giving up 3 quick runs. The Yankees can relax now. Kamienicki can just concentrate on throwing strikes, although he's behind 2 balls and no strikes to Flowers.
One thing Scott Kamienicki, since coming off that elbow injury from early in the year, as he's logged more innings, his fastball is a lot better than most American League hitters realize. He'll get it up there in the low to mid 90s, and he's pumped up today. It looks like he has an exceptional fastball.
Two and one. Deep to right field. Back goes O'Neill. O'Neill to the warning track and up in the air, and he's got it. O'Neill goes back to the wall and snags one.
The strength of the Yankee team is the way they catch the ball. For a while, the Yankees thought about playing Ruben Sierra in right field. That didn't work out. O'Neill at 6'5" times the leap perfectly and comes down with the ball.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, that would have not been a home run. That is a solid wall. That's a pad there in front of it. Some of you watching games from the Kingdome for the first time, you might think that there is a wall there. There is not. If we take a look out in right field with Luis Sojo in, it is a very high wall there that you have to hit for the home run. That is almost solid all the way down. So with 2 out, Sojo up here in the bottom of the 2nd inning on a count of 1 ball and 1 strike. There is the look at it. I know it can be a little bit deceiving when you first see it. You think that perhaps there's distance between the pad and that other wall, but there is not. In fact, that solid wall contributed to Ken Griffey's broken wrist. There is exactly where Griffey struck that wall. Right there. Count those 2 small panels right there in that crease. And the solid wall is right above there. Just look how fateful that was. Just a few feet over the other way, and it would have given, and he probably would not have fractured his left wrist. As it was, Jim Cott, you have spoken to him about the plate and the screws that are in that wrist, which will be removed at the end of the season.
He doesn't have complete flexibility in that wrist yet, and the screws will be taken out as soon as the Mariners are done playing. As far as swinging the bat, it gives him no problem because that bottom hand is what's so important to a hitter. The top one kind of goes along for the ride.
If you push it, if you really push, Jude, he will tell you deep down he's pulling hard for the Cincinnati Reds in the National League.
Right.
Slaps one, base hit off Velarde's glove, and this may give him a second base. No, he'll have to hold up. The ball ricocheted off Velarde's glove. Bernie Williams dashing in from center field, but it changed direction completely. And Sojo holds.
Good effort by Velarde, but this is a very bouncy live turf here at the Kingdome. And as that caromed into short left center, Sojo thought about second base. No gamble with the Mariners down 3.
So catcher Dan Wilson digs in here for the Mariners in the bottom of the 2nd and a couple of outs. Line drive, base hit. Sojo will hold at second. Runners on at first and second. 2 out, and here comes Vince Coleman. Some of you will get
see Wilson go down and get that pitch. Lou Piniella got him in the trade from Cincinnati because of his catching ability. He's really improved as a hitter.
And again, the tying run at the plate. High chopper. Fernandez backs up. This will end it. Through 2, and the Yankees with 3 first-inning runs, 2 scoring on an RBI single by Don Mattingly. But you would be just tempted to surrender, wouldn't you?
Not here. They won't do it.
We move along to the top of the 3rd inning. Jim Cott and Jack Arute, who has joined us tonight for a little double dip coming down for the college football scene up there at Husky Stadium. Nice to have you along with us here tonight. Bernie Williams now stepping up to the plate, and in case you joined us late, it was a landmark night for Bernie last night. You will see that he is wearing the number 7 on his inside sleeve, left sleeve, and that of course honors the memory of the great Mickey Mantle. Last night as a switch hitter, Bernie Williams indeed honored it. He was the first hitter in postseason history to hit a home run from each side of the plate, and here is one of the bright young Yankees to emerge in several years. Very nice, soft-spoken young man, isn't he, Jim?
He certainly is, and he's developed into one of the better center fielders in the American League.
Selected.
How much energy does it take to be a fan at the Kingdome? I mean, they rise and fall with every pitch once that pitcher gets a 2-strike count.
Now it's full.
That's Bosio's game. That's the Yankees game. And especially Bernie Williams, that's where he's made a lot of his improvement. Does not chase bad pitches very often. And Bosio will try to get you to chase the borderline pitches.
And Williams with a leadoff walk. John Saunders, how about the Braves and the Rockies? What's going on with that one?
Well, Brent, Greg Maddux is automatic in the regular season. Postseason, it's something different. With 2 runners aboard, Dante Bichette drives this one out of the park to the opposite field. The 3-run home run. The Rockies trying to stay alive, up 3-0. Brent and Jim.
And again, you don't need rare air if you can hit it like he can, huh?
Would that be a shocker if they could beat Maddux and force a Game 5?
Now Williams away from first. Paul O'Neill, the Yankee right fielder, is up. He walked and scored the Yankees' 3rd run back in the 1st inning.
It gets late early because Jeff Nelson is a late inning reliever. But here in the top of the 3rd, Lou Piniella will make that move in a hurry.
Well, already Bosio has walked 3 hitters, given up 3 Yankee hits, behind 3-0.
These pitchers are similar in that they give you the idea they're about a pitch from being knocked out of the game, and yet they both have shown the ability to make that one to keep them in the game.
He's really off tonight. steps away from first base. You can see still on the dirt, inching away. Drive, deep right center field. Put it on the scoreboard. Paul O'Neill makes it 5-0. Be all for Mr. Bosio.
Entirely different lineup when a right-hand pitcher's on the mound. And now Paul O'Neill, Wade Boggs, Bernie Williams from the left side, and O'Neill, a 500 hitter against Bosio, caps off Bosio's afternoon.
5 runs on 4 hits, including this home run by O'Neill. Well, the Hustle Award goes to Jack Arute down here from Husky Stadium. Jack, does this place remind you at all of Wrigley Field, partner?
Well, Brent, after that home run by Paul O'Neill, it does, because when the ball went up into the crowd, the first thing the crowd did was not keep the ball, but just like at Wrigley, throw it back in. Now, we saw it again last night, and we see it again tonight, so maybe there's a tradition building here in the Kingdom as well.
If they don't score some runs, it'll be a short tradition. It'll have to wait until next April, partner.
I tell you what, this has really become a baseball city. There are some Yankee fans. Well, they don't like New York, the Mariner fans here, obviously, but very creative banners by the Mariner fans. Disappointing evening for Chris Bosio.
This was a very disappointing evening so far for Seattle sports fans. In a period of about 45 minutes, Notre Dame recovered a botched snap on a punt, quickly punched it in for a winning score, then intercepted a pass as the Huskies were driving down the field for a field goal, put them out of their misery. Then the focus was here to the Kingdom, and the Yankees put 3 on the board in the first, and O'Neill hammers 2 more up with that home run of his. And now Ruben Sierra will step in against Jeff Nelson. So it is uphill now for the Mariners, trailing it by 5 runs. Coach Robinson reaching that milestone. What an unbelievable career he has had. Slaps it right back to Nelson. So now it's time for the Lexus Diamond Dust. Kirk Gibson was the last player to end a postseason game with a pinch hit home run. Who was the first of 4 players to do so? And we'll have that answer for you in the bottom half of this inning. Now that I think of Grambling, I suppose I shouldn't mention this without checking. Gerald Williams. Did he attend Grambling?
Maybe he did, yeah.
So Don Mattingly steps in, coming off of one of his more disappointing evenings. He has already driven in 2 runs here tonight with a single. And the Yankees trying to get on that plane and head for Cleveland and the American League Championship Series. Not only is a win here huge because you win the series, but it would allow Buck Showalter and the Yankees to rest David Cone for the opener on Tuesday night. So the Indians and their fans have been rooting hard for the Mariners here in this game, but it's 5-0 Yankees right now.
And that's the surprise, that graphic. The Mariner bullpen has been solid all year, but not in the division series.
1-2, line drive, base hit. Mattingly 2 for 2. This one will go down into the corner. Buhner up with it. He's got a chance. Got the arm, and Mattingly's in with a double.
Turns on the breaking ball and running hard from step 1, but again it's the strong arm you referred to of Jay Buhner, right on target. Soho thought he got him on the hand. Dan Morrison saw it otherwise. Very creative head-first slide by Mattingly to avoid the tag. Watch how Buhner plays it perfectly. Already 3 assists in the series.
I'm wondering if Morrison was watching the glove and the ball or was watching the hand go into the bag, and that view of it.
If he made contact, he was out. But in Dan Morrison's eyes, maybe he didn't make contact with Mattingly's shoulder.
James.
This is what Dan Morrison is looking at right there. And he had to make the judgment whether Soho caught Mattingly on the elbow with the glove. He didn't think he did.
He had the best view of it. James now with a count of 2 balls and 1 strike. Soho has been involved in a couple of interesting plays out there at second base. Boy, I'll tell you, Buhner last night, he gunned Velarde down. And this time, certainly it looked like the ball got there at time. High, shallow center field. And Griffey puts him away with Mattingly quickly retreating to second base. 2 out. Mike Stanley coming up. And the Rockies leading the Braves and hoping to force a game 5. If the Rockies had a real good closer, you could only imagine what might have happened in that series. Twice in the 9th inning, the Braves rallied in Denver. And then last night, rallying again to tie it. But the Rockies win it in the 10th. And now tonight with another lead. But can they hang on? It's 5-0 here. Yankees over the Mariners. 2 out. Stanley. Far outside.
Low ball pitcher, low ball hitter. You see, that's Stanley's success against Nelson. 300.
2 balls and no strikes. Count on the Yankee catcher. Second and 2 out. And we check in with John Saunders. John.
Brent, the Braves down 3-0 to the Rockies. Brett Saberhagen facing Chipper Jones, and what a playoff for the rookie here. Dante Bichette dives, but he can't come up with it. Grissom is in. Lemke follows him, and the Braves on the board 3-2. And Fred McGriff has just hit a 2-run home run. The Braves have taken a lead 4-3.
And they could not hold on. 5-0 here with Tony Fernandez swinging and missing. We've got 2 out. Yankee runners on at first and second. Jeff Nelson, the second Mariner pitcher.
Yeah, of all the late season acquisitions, it's been Brett Saberhagen of all the pitchers that has been the most disappointing, and he's given up those 4 runs today. What David Cohn has done what the Yankees thought he would. Andy Bennis has been effective here in Seattle. But Saberhagen has not been.
There's a very happy Buckeye. Raised in Columbus, Ohio. Signed a baseball contract out of high school, but he loves Ohio State's football team. And next week, big one for the Bucks. They'll play Wisconsin up in Madison.
Paul O'Neill thought he might be a pitcher when he signed his pro contract. That was his strong suit in high school. And then they found out how well he could hit. Lou Piniella found out he was a member of their championship team in 1990. Quite a Cincinnati connection here between Piniella and the Mariners.
Woody Woodward, another member. Mariner front off his staff, lift them down there. A ball and 2 strikes and 2 outs. Up the middle, a high hop. Soho's got it, and he'll force the runner at second. That'll do it. But the Yankees scored 2 more on Paul O'Neill's homer. They lead it 5-0.
Sure, you've got it.
Well, as we were showing you, Chipper Jones doubled a drive in 2 runs. Here's what happened. Fred McGriff, the pitch is up, and he takes it to the opposite field. Bichette goes back, but this one is gone. The 2-run home run, and the Braves have come back from down 3-0 to lead 4-3. Brent and Jim.
So perhaps when the fans hear, John, hear about that comeback at Atlanta, maybe they can mount one. They trailed the Yankees by 5. But it says here historically it's not going to be easy. The Yankees lost only 1 game this season in which they had a 5-run lead. That was back on June 20th in Baltimore. Led it 7-2 and lost 8-7. But 5 runs ahead is usually enough. And now it is Joey Cora, Ken Griffey, and Edgar Martinez up for the Mariners here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Cora on a bunt, drags it down to Mattingly. They're going to have to hurry. Base hit. Cora bunts his way on.
Perfect bunt by Joey Cora. Once he gets it by Scott Kamienicki, look what Mattingly is thinking about doing. He wants to catch it and run to the bag at the same time. The only way he could have made the play. And a well-placed bunt by Cora to start the Mariner 3rd.
Now Kamienicki got Griffey at his last at bat. Made him look bad on strike 3. Let's see what happens this time around. Line drive, base hit. Cora will hold at second. And now it's Edgar Martinez.
Great plate coverage. Goes out and gets that ball down and away and just gets enough of the barrel on it to loop it into right field. Boy, he has been that for the Mariners, Edgar Martinez.
Right on that outside corner. Good pitch by Kamienicki.
Vince Coleman played in the 1987 World Series between the Minnesota Twins and the Cardinals. You remember the noise in the Metrodome. He said it's close in this building, not quite to that level.
Deep to left field. Edgar Martinez deep. Put it up. It's 5-3 on the Martinez home run.
A fastball up and in and turns on it. He is a .350 hitter lifetime against the Yankees.
Tino Martinez steps in. 5-3. Because they play in the Pacific time zone, it is hard for those of us in the Eastern time zone to appreciate just how good this man is. But Edgar Martinez is simply one of the best in the game. nobody out. Don't overlook Joey Cora's bunt single. The leadoff man on. Griffey slapping the first pitch for a single, and Edgar unloading. And now Kamienicki taking his time ahead in the count, a ball and 2 strikes. You can see Stanley slip outside. Crowd will rise again.
They are creative with their banners here at the Kingdom.
Two and two. Up the middle, base hit. And Buck Showalter gets someone out right now with the tying run coming to the plate in the bottom of the 3rd inning.
Martinez continues his good hitting, and that's a trait of the Mariner hitters. Really cover the plate well. That pitch is down and away and right at Kamienicki's head. Nardi Contreras, the Yankee pitching coach, just buying a little time. You can go out there and say, hey, settle down. That's impossible to do under these conditions. Bob Wickman, again, normally used in the latter part of the ball game. Buck Showalter has him up here in the 3rd. He wants to do everything he can, Buck Showalter, to avoid having to use David Cone tomorrow.
The right fielder, number 19, Jay.
Many of you are aware of the Buhner story. One-time Yankee. Has hit very well against his former club. Steps in now representing the tying run against Scott Kamienicki, who is struggling here in the bottom of the 3rd. 4 hitters, 4 base hits, including Edgar Martinez, home run. And now Buhner out of play. There are 2 players who are in the lineup who moved from the Yankees to the Mariners. Ken Phelps and Jim Bluebird watching somewhere tonight.
This fan sure got over that Husky loss in a hurry, didn't he?
Tell you a cute story about that. Dennis Erickson, the Seattle Seahawks were struggling a bit. He ran into some of the Mariners, Lou Piniella, and he said, hey, I hope you guys keep on winning. Taking a lot of heat off us right now.
They have. Best September in their franchise history.
That's 2 balls and 1 strike. Buhner ready. And here's Buhner's pitch coming up now. And you wonder how long Buck will wait. Kamienicki and nervous. Two men on and nobody out.
Third baseman, number 16, Mike Lauer.
Fernandez into the mound.
Wickman obviously ready and waiting. Yeah, you'd say 2 men on, nobody out, 2 runs down, bunt situation. No, I don't think so with Mike Blowers. Lou Piniella uses the sacrifice bunt more than most managers, but Blowers, the guy that can do some damage, like Buhner. Great RBIs per base hit this year. 96 ribbies, just a little over 100 hits.
So the Mariner third baseman settles in now. The go-ahead run. He squares, takes it back, and Rose got a strike, and Blowers does not agree with the call.
A surprise move right there by Lou Piniella because of Soho in the on-deck circle. You would think he would rather have Blowers swing the bat.
Mattingly and Boggs respect the bunt as they shorten up at first and third. Velarde and Fernandez back. Runners on at first and second. Squaring again, and this one outside and low, and a ball. Kamienicki was going to appeal on it, but Blowers did not go after it.
Of course, Piniella, the wily old veteran, after 2 attempted bunts and a 1-1 count. Don't be surprised to see him take it off and let Blowers swing away.
And that is probably racing through Boggs' mind right now. But he's going to put it down again, going to make Boggs make the play. The sacrifice is a beauty. Velarde with the put out.
Great execution. Not often you see a guy who's known as a home run hitter lay down a bunt like that. Boggs has only one play. In fact, Velarde has to hustle over to first to make the tag, and great confidence in Luis Soho to knock in the tying runs.
And it's richly deserved. Soho with a huge bases clearing hit in that one-game playoff against the California Angels. Now he can draw the Mariners even with a single. Trying to go to right field, slaps it foul. Infield is back for the Yankees, although Boggs has shortened up just a little bit, not quite even with third base. You can see back in the middle, Mattingly well off the bag for Soho. Soho went down that line against Mark Langston. In the air to right field, curving toward the stands.
This again is why it surprised me that Lou Piniella used Flowers to bunt, because Soho has good numbers, but he's a chaser. He chases pitches out of the strike zone, and Kamienicki has gotten him to do that. You can bet now on 0-2. They are going to try to make him offer at something well out of the strike zone.
Down 5 runs a short time ago. Suddenly, the tying run is perched at second. Baseball theater. Can't beat it this time of year. Line drive, center field. Bernie Williams is going to make the catch, but the Mariners tag up and score again. It's a 1-run game. Tino Martinez from third base. So the sacrifice bunt sets up the sacrifice fly.
Good effort by Soho. That pitch had a little too much of the strike zone for Scott Kamienicki, and Soho got enough of it to get it to the outfield.
Dan Wilson, 2 out. Jay Buhner at second with that tying run. Coleman would be next if Wilson draws a walk or reaches base. Coleman, the only Mariner hitter not to have batted this inning. him loose at 3-0.
I don't think Dan Wilson. You're right. The Mariner fans did look at that Atlanta score, and the Mariner players say, hey, we could do that too.
Three and one to Wilson. Ooh, that just missed. Kamienicki and Stanley both wanted that corner. That pitch was real close, folks.
That's how close it was. Stanley set up outside, and Rocky Rose hit just off the corner, or maybe a little high.
So here comes Vince Coleman. Loves to play on artificial turf, as you're well aware. A man who has resurrected his career here in Seattle, and a chance to draw the Mariners even. Allowed by Kamienicki matches his season high for 1 inning. It has been a struggle. Good pitch there. Vince came up to me at the batting cage. He said, I had a friend call me from the East who heard you and Jim Cott last night. He said, you talked about me being a punter, and this guy said he was making that story up. It was Greg Coleman who was the punter. He said, no. Brent and I have been around long enough that he knows I was cut by the Washington Redskins. A ball and a strike. Greg Coleman is his cousin. And of course, he did have a punting career in the National Football League. Ball and 2 strikes now with 2 out. Jay Buhner perched at second. Wilson on at first. Swung at a bad pitch, and that took Kamienicki off the hook. So Vince helped him there, and we'll return with the divisional playoffs. It's the Yankees and the Mariners after this from our ABC station.
Sunday.
We told you that Brett Saberhagen's 3-0 lead had evaporated. He was down, and then Rafael Belliard to Young has to make the play at second himself, then throws the ball away. Klesko comes in to score a 2-run lead for the Braves. They're not done. Marquise Grissom off the fist, but it's a double. Belliard comes in to score, and the Atlanta Braves, from down 3-0, are now up 6-3. They've moved to the 5th. Right now, back to Brent and Jim.
John, thank you very much. And we just watched as Randy Velarde bounced out 6-3 here. So that is the first out at the top of the 4th inning. The Yankees jumping out to a 5-0 lead. Paul O'Neill with a 2-run homer in the 3rd inning, and then the Mariners bouncing back in the bottom half with 4 runs. We now have a 1-run game here. Wade Boggs, who doubled in the 1st inning, grounded into a double play in his 2nd at bat, steps in against the 2nd Mariner pitcher. This is Jeff Nelson. Chris Bosio started the game in a very untidy line. 2 innings is all he lasted. 5 runs, 4 hits, walked 3, and struck out only 1. But the Mariners have climbed back into it, and now it is Boggs. And no strikes.
Well, you've heard it before from managers, but this is the most important inning for Lou Piniella's pitcher, Jeff Nelson. You get that crowd up, score 4 runs, you want to shut the other team down in a hurry and get back to the dugout.
No, he did not go. Third base umpire Tim Welke, he's outstanding ball and strike man. If you ask some of the pitchers around the American League, he's working down at third base here. 3 balls and 1 strike. Rocky Rowe, the plate umpire tonight. Big Rock. Boggs coaxes a walk, and this Division Series game is brought to you by McDonald's. Have you had your break today? Smooth Busch Beer, an easy drinking Busch Light, and Chevrolet, the cars and trucks 36 million people depend on every day. Genuine Chevrolet. With Jim Cott and hustling Jack Arute, I'm Brett Musburger. Very nice to have you along tonight. We've got plenty of drama still ahead. Here's a man who provided the highest moments of the Yankee loss last night, homering twice for New York. Center fielder Bernie Williams steps back in now with Boggs on at first base and 1 out.
Cleveland Indians are loving every pitch of this game. They like to see these games go about 14 innings apiece, use all the pitchers.
And what they want to see most of all is a Game 5 tomorrow. Watch David Cone pitch for the Yankees in case New York wins it at the time. Who knows? Now they gave him, he caught the outside corner with that breaking ball. Williams not happy with that call. Backs away, and now he'll stand back in with a count of 1-1. Catcher Wilson, one-time hockey goalie as a youngster growing up. And Jim Cott was telling our fans last night that one of the reasons why this team has come along is his maturity behind home plate. One ball, 2 strikes, and 1 out. Swung on and missed.
Right fielder Paul O'Neill.
Well, our Diamond Dust quiz for Lexus. Kirk Gibson, the last player to end a postseason game with a pinch hit home run. Who was the first of 4 to do so? You knew it all along. Oh, you folks in Cleveland just winced. Did he have to show us that? Anybody but Dusty Rhodes. Get that off the screen. Oh, my. What a painful memory. If you're a Tribe fan, but what a season this has been. New field, great team. And here comes Paul O'Neill. His home run represents the difference in this ball game. Yankees 5, Mariners 4. So many memories now that I think back to 1954. Bob Feller did not get a start, as I recall, for Al Lopez. Willie Mays makes that great catch on Vic Wertz in center field. I can still see that remarkable throw if I close my eyes. And Dusty Rhodes. Hello, Polo Grounds. 2 balls, no strikes. Now 2-1. Boggs away from first. Beautiful breaking ball. Whoa, did that have a little snap on it.
At 6'8", coming from third base, and catches the outside corner with it.
2-2. And it goes full, so Boggs will be moving with 2 out now. Breaking ball hit up the middle for a base hit, and on the move, Boggs will take it over to third base. Yankees on at first and third, 2 out, and here comes Ruben Sierra, who has not been dancing out here in Seattle so far. Jimmy, he's been rather quiet.
Mariners doing a good job against Sierra in the Kingdom. Paul O'Neill, because the Mariners play him way around the pull, hits that breaking ball actually through the normal position for the second baseman. Ends up a base hit. And this is a good matchup for the Yankees. You mentioned Sierra has not been doing much dancing But Nelson, with that three-quarter delivery, pitches right into his strength.
This is a big moment for both sides right now. 2 out. Sierra steps in. Watching Nelson. Hard breaking ball that he's throwing. There's one of them.
When you're a right-hand pitcher and you throw three-quarter to sidearm, the left-hand power hitters, you have to be very, very fine and catch that outside corner. Anything comes in a little too far, it's gone.
And Sierra ready. Mattingly 2 for 2. Drove in a pair. First inning single. Now Sierra. Out of play. And activity down in the Mariner bullpen.
Bobby Ayala beginning to loosen.
It's 2-2. 2 out. Yankees on at first and third. Their cleanup hitter, designated hitter Ruben Sierra. Send it full. O'Neill moving from first base on this pitch.
Big decision time. You mentioned Dan Wilson's maturity. He's really trying to think through where they'd like to throw this 3-2 pitch. Might be the most important pitch for them in the game.
He may have looked over to the dugout for help on this call. He had glanced over, and now he has gone back to Nelson. They were going to try to catch O'Neill asleep, but he didn't even budge from first base, even though he'll be moving. But he'll be waiting for Nelson to commit. It's 3-2 and 2 out. Got him! The Yankees are scoreless in the fourth. It's a one-run game in Seattle.
Kevin Ritz on in relief in the 5th inning, facing Fred McGriff. McGriff had a 2-run home run earlier. This one is a solo shot, and again it goes the opposite way to left center field. Right now the Braves are cruising 7-3 in the 5th. Brent and Jim.
Well, down here, John, it's a one-run game. Scott Kamienicki still in, bottom of the 4th inning, and here is the Mariner who started it all in the previous inning with a beautiful drag bunt. Drew Mattingly off the base. They couldn't get anybody over in time to cover. And the Mariners exploded for 4, down by 5. So Joey Cora back to lead it off in the bottom of the 4th with a ball and a strike. It's interesting how deep Kenny Fouts, our director down there, looking at his monitor bank, noticed that Mattingly and Velarde are still back.
It's live turf. Yeah, it's live turf. Has a lot of bounce to it. You can't play too shallow.
So it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. It's 5-4. Yankees up 1 now. 50,000 plus. One of the largest crowds in Mariner history, settling back in. Line drive, foul. Drifting back is James, and there's one out. So this copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the office of the Commissioner of Baseball and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form without the express written consent from the office of the Commissioner. The divisional playoffs, Game 4. If the Mariners come back and win, there will be a Game 5 here tomorrow night at 4 Pacific time. But if the Yankees win, they will head for Cleveland, and the American League Championship Series opens up Tuesday night. Gene Michael with Reggie Jackson, special advisor for George Steinbrenner, looking on here as Ken Griffey slaps one away. I'll tell you, Mr. October, he's been in a few. Huh? You Yankee fans, what's your favorite Reggie Jackson memory? If I had it, which one would you tell me? I bet everybody's got a different one, huh? Some great moments from him. He was electrifying as a player. One of the things about Reggie Jackson, he was never boring. I will tell you that. 0-2 now. One out. Griffey ready. Didn't get it. He has struck Griffey out twice, but in between, Griffey's single set up the dramatics for this man. Comes in. It's nice to face Ken Griffey and Edgar Martinez without any base runners. Trying to keep it outside, but missing the strike zone. Down in the count now. 2-0. Tino Martinez waits on deck. Say much. The size of his forearms and the strength that he has there. Breaking ball, line drive, base hit. Caught one hanging just a touch. And Edgar Martinez with his second hit. The tying run on, and here comes Tino. Tino Martinez.
Don't get by with many breaking balls in the middle of the zone to Edgar Martinez. Kamienicki didn't get by with that one.
Edgar bluffed with Mattingly playing off the bag and in front of him. Strike one to Tino. Breaking ball for a strike, and it's 0-2. Kamienicki will be dictating now.
Going on there at first base. Buck Showalter with his eyes on Edgar Martinez. He'd like to get Mattingly off the bag. Be surprised to see a little quick move over there.
When they pull Mattingly off the bag with a slow base runner, you've got an interesting situation, but you can see Mattingly moving right with him because of the left-handed hitter and getting himself alertly into fielding position over there. But you got to be a little careful when you gamble over there too much. Now it's a ball and 2 strikes. Great great stop by Mike Stanley. What a wonderful stop that was on a hop.
One of those not in the box score, and so important in these one-run games, getting over to block that curveball. If he doesn't, Martinez is in scoring position.
It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2 out. Mariners down a run. Toughen. He just rubbed something on it there. Rock just got the chest protector ricocheted off. Big fella.
Mike Stanley, like Dan Wilson, realized the last out of the top of this inning.
I mean, let me go back and I might have been a little bit quick. I think that Rowe was shaken up, and looking at his facial reaction behind that mask, that may got a little bit more skin than pad that time when it slipped up on him. 2 balls, 2 strikes now, and 2 out. Edgar Martinez away from first. Line drive towards center, but Bernie Williams has got it on the move. Couldn't find the gap. And the Mariners are scoreless, still trailing it by 1.
Advised.
Greg Maddux with a 7-3 lead facing Vinny Castilla. And look at this pitch. It is right over the middle of the plate. Maddux has an ERA above 7 in his postseason career. Hard to believe it's now a 7-4 game. Brent and Jim.
No, they won't die. And here we've got the captain, Don Mattingly, stepping in. And we asked Buck Showalter, what does Mattingly mean to the Yankees?
The words that he says, the respect that our players have, that kind of elevates everybody else's game, the defensive skills he has, the words he says to a relief pitcher, a young pitcher in the middle of a game. And this is a guy who can swing a bat. You ask Lou who he doesn't want up there in a crucial situation. I guarantee you Donnie's a guy that will come to mind.
With 2 hits tonight, after having been struck out 3 times last night by Randy Johnson. 2 RBIs. Mattingly, his first postseason action. Down the line, base hit. There's his 3rd hit. Going toward the corner, Coleman over to pick it up. But Mattingly is in with his 2nd double, leading off the 5th. He has done it again.
Not only swinging the bat well, but catching a few breaks. That was a check swing. He was trying to hold up his swing, and with Flowers off the bag, down into the corner for a double.
Dion James in, and Flowers shortens up at 3rd base. And Kay Showalter wants to play it for 1 run and try to get Mattingly over to 3rd. Sharp breaking ball broke low too far inside for Jeff Nelson, who is the 2nd Mariner pitcher. Breaking ball that he has been relying on. He has a sharp break on it. That could be a very, very tough pitch for a batter if he does not pick up that rotation quickly, Jimmy. That really gets in on you.
And you mentioned the sacrifice bunt. It's something the Yankees don't do very often, last in the league. And experienced hitter like Dion James, all he's trying to do with that breaking ball is at least pull a ground ball to the right side and advance Mattingly.
Tino Martinez and Cora very deep over there on that right side with the left-handed hitter up. Yes, he did. One ball, 2 strikes. Nobody out. Mattingly on at 2nd. Foul ball. Nelson wanted. Hit deep to right field, but playable. Buhner's got it. Mattingly to tag up. Mattingly coming now. Buhner with that strong arm puts him in the dirt, but he's moved along to third base. So James does his job, sending Buhner back in right field. And a reminder that tomorrow at 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific, a special edition of ABC's Wide World of Sports. Shannon Miller and our country's best go head-to-head with the world's top stars at the World Gymnastics Championships from Japan tomorrow right here on ABC. And now it is catcher Mike Stanley with 1 out and Mattingly over at third base.
And the Mariners will bring the infield in. This is a situation the Yankees were the best team in the American League. Runner on third, less than 2 out, getting them in.
This is where a pitcher wants a strikeout as much as anything. He's well aware of the Yankees' ability of what to do to handle the bat in this situation. High and tight, and now he's back. A couple of balls in the count.
We were talking with Lou Piniella a couple years ago. He said, get me a team that can always get that runner in from third, less than 2 out. I'll win the pennant going away.
Watching his good friend Don Mattingly lead away. Ground ball. Mattingly freezes. Won't go. Cora's got the hitter. So it's up to Fernandez, but now 2 out and Piniella.
Yeah, managers always think ahead. They don't enjoy the outs, and Tony Fernandez is famous for that. The old slug butt. He'll start running out of the box and then slap it toward the left side. Good pitch.
Jeff Nelson holding the line so far since coming on. Hit to left field. Vince Coleman on the runs, got it. And the Yankees cannot score Mattingly from third base. They still lead it though, 5-4. Yankees 5, Mariners 4. The Kingdom. Bottom of the 5th inning. They have been that so far, and indeed. Great memories, especially in the postseason that number 7 provided for Yankee and baseball fans everywhere. Jay Buhner. Out of play.
Mike Stanley evidently didn't like the zone that pitch was in, and he's trotted out to the mound. Talked to Scott Kamienicki about it. Here we are in the 5th inning, but you can see the pitchers and catchers treating almost every at-bat like it's the last one of the game.
And the outs just get bigger and bigger as we roll along. Jay Buhner now, ball and a strike. Some interesting looking fellas on the Mariner team. Little character. You watch a Randy Johnson and a Jay Buhner up there at the plate. Line drive, base hit. Now the Mariners with the tying run on, but we want to get an update from John Saunders. John?
Brent, Mark Lemke at the plate. Greg Maddux, the pitcher, is aboard, and he will score here. Maddux had singled. You know he's a great hitter for a pitcher. Trots in as the Braves pad their lead, now 8-4 in the 6th. Brent and Jim.
John, don't ever play golf against Greg Maddux. He's got a phony handicap. He can hit the golf ball better than he hits the baseball, partner. Beware. Well, the noise level here in the Kingdome now. Nobody out. Buhner on it first. And here's Blau. And I'll tell you, Stanley has been really active behind that plate. He has made several big stops behind home plate. That was cat-like the way he moved over there to the right that time.
Things that catchers work on all spring, just being able to shift that body out. This could be Scott Kamienicki's last inning. Gets through it.
Beautiful pitch right at the knees. I did not want to remind Scott Kamienicki of what happened to Michigan's football team today, so we'll just let that pass right now. Northwestern did stage a huge upset, 101 in Ann Arbor. Just in case you have not heard, there were two big upsets in college football that I'm aware of. Kansas put 40 on the board in beating Colorado, and Northwestern went into Ann Arbor and dumped Michigan. 101 to count here. Florida State, they will not call off the dogs in this one, ladies and gentlemen. They will go for the jugular against their hated rival. There is the Kansas score. That one for me is a stunner. It's really hard to believe. That was a great win for the Buckeyes. I mean, great. They came from behind twice in that game. And here the Mariners are trying to come from behind. 57,180 watching. 1 and 2. That is what disappoints Lou Piniella about Blowers. Strike 3. And for a time tonight, he was going to use Strange at third base, and then he changed his mind. Now, Luis Sojo comes up. And there's the Wildcat score. Texas Tech, that is also huge. I was unaware that Spike Dykes had beaten A&M today, and North Carolina dumps Virginia. So this really was upset Saturday around college football. Yankees 5, Mariners 4, bottom of the 5th. Over to first base, Jay Buhner representing the tying run. 1 out now. The tension, there are some light moments.
Crowd reaction, but that was a curveball that got away. The smile between Mattingly and Buhner was Buhner saying, I can't believe they're throwing over here. I don't steal bases. There's the curveball that got away that Sojo shortened up on. Hit and run situation for the Mariners. Be surprised to see Piniella try it.
Think that they may be trying it with a count of 1 ball and no strikes. 1 out, bottom of the 5th inning. Mariners down a run. Jay Buhner at first and Sojo the hitter. Drills it. Base hit left field. Buhner will move up 1 base. John, how about the Rockies? Any life left down there in Atlanta?
Not much, at least if you're a Rockies fan. Fred McGriff, what a night. Munoz, the lefty, on to face him. He finds a hole. Grissom comes in. Lemke follows him. For McGriff, 2 home runs, 5 runs batted in on the night, and the Braves now lead 10-4 in the 6th. Brent and Jim.
Jim, I think that Cincinnati-Atlanta final, the way it shapes up, could be a great championship series between those two.
The one thing that hurt the Braves is you see Sterling Hitchcock and Wickman loosening up in the Yankee bullpen as Greg Maddux had to pitch today. So if the Braves do win, he would not be available, though Tom Glavine would for Game 1.
Steve Howe joining him down to the bullpen. He gave up a big hit when he came on last night. So here's catcher Dan Wilson. 1 out. Tying run on at second base and Jay Buhner. Mariners at first and second.
Well, Wilson has had some great swings today. In fact, this Mariner lineup 1 through 9. Lou Piniella is not only a manager, but along with Lee Elia, also spends some time working with the hitters. And no one knows more about it than Louie. The pitching coach buying a little time. Hitchcock had just begun to loosen up. Wickman was up earlier. And Buck Showalter just checking down there with bullpen coach Tony Cloninger. Make sure they're both ready. Coleman up next.
Back in the shadows, leaning back. A man who has jetted in, George Steinbrenner. You wonder what he's thinking now. Michael there's of course, and Buck Showalter pulling the strings down below. First and second. Buhner away. Now it's Wilson. It's a ball and a strike and 1 out. Breaking ball hit to second base. Velarde. The throw to first. Now the throw back by Mattingly. Hits it, and this game is tied. This game is tied up. Buhner trots in with the run. And give the credit to Luis Sojo. He froze Velarde long enough.
A rare infield mistake. Velarde sees he can't tag Sojo, and Mattingly's throw is offline. The first infield error the Yankees have made in 16 games.
So Dan Wilson's ground out provides the drama. And it's 5-5 with Vince Coleman now stepping out. Mariners 5, Yankees 5. Showalter demonstrating great confidence in Scott Kamienicki. Steps away from second. The Mariners are very good at stealing signs with base runners at second base. On the hitter, will do it, but not before the Mariners tie the game on a throwing error by Mattingly. Tuesday night on ABC, the postseason heats up, and we begin coverage of the American and National League Championship Series. We'll have regional action Tuesday at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific, right here on ABC. Cleveland awaits the winner of this series. We're tied at 5 in Game 4. If the Mariners win, there's a Game 5 tomorrow night, 4 Pacific time. That would make it 7 back along the East Coast. Cleveland, where all the Indian fans are. If the Yankees win this game, then they will head to Cleveland to open the American League Championship Series. Now leading it off, Randy Velarde, and then the top of the order, Wade Boggs and Bernie Williams. Struggling at the plate. Velarde will try to get it started here at the top of the 6th. Jeff Nelson has been magnificent. He's allowed 3 hits, struck out 2, walked 2, has not yet given up a run. All 5 of the Yankee runs were charged against Chris Bosio, the starter. Beautiful stop by Soho. The throw on the carpet, not in time, and it's a base hit. Leadoff single Velarde.
Wow, what a play by Soho. In fact, Velarde thought it was through. He started to make his turn, and Soho comes up quickly, and Velarde had to hustle, get back on a straight course, and just beat the throw. He's going to start making his turn. Oops.
Top of the lineup. The action in the Mariner bullpen. Wade Boggs.
You mentioned the great job Nelson has done as Ayala begins to loosen. 3 2/3, the longest of Jeff Nelson's career. He is working in his 4th inning.
Interesting that Lou Piniella has decided to play the Ayala hand. He was racked back in the Bronx by the Yankees. Ayala has not been comfortable being a setup man for Charlton, but he's got him warming up right now. Check swing foul ball by Boggs. But that is the kind of manager that Piniella is. We have 2 great contrasts. Seattle, the Yankees at bat at the top of the 6th. They are tied with the Seattle Mariners, who overcame a 5-run deficit to tie this game in their last at bat on an infield error by the Yankees. Now the count on Boggs is 2 balls and 2 strikes. He's the Yankee leadoff hitter playing third base, and he'll be followed by Bernie Williams. Jeff Nelson is the 2nd Seattle pitcher. Chris Bosio charged with all 5 runs, including a 2-run home run by Paul O'Neill back in the 3rd inning. So the count 2-2, and the throw over. The base runner is Randy Velarde, batting in the number 9 spot, and he singled. And here is the play. Soho freezes Velarde. Now watch the throw by Mattingly. Ricochets off Fernandez, and Buhner, who had moved to 3rd, trotted home with the tying run. Now Boggs, and that one ball outside. Nelson wanted it.
Yeah, he thought the one before was a strike. Hitters get reputations, and I think Wade Boggs got the benefit of his on the last 2 pitches.
3-2, and Wilson without turning around at all. A couple of words with the plate umpire Rocky Rowe. Now he checks over to the dugout to see if anything is on in this situation, and the count is full with nobody out. There goes the runner. Check swing. Did he go? Yes. The throw. They've got him. It's a strikeout. Throw him out. Double play. An
emotional and effective outing for Jeff Nelson. Velarde looks in. Cora applies the tag, and with that, Nelson has tied his career high. Boggs did go. 3 2/3 innings.
Now looking in at Bernie Williams with 2 out. Williams homering from both sides, and last night's loss by the Yankees. Stands in and slaps one foul. very confident hitter right now. In this game, he has a single. He was also walked. He has scored 2 of the Yankees' 5 runs. He was on base when Paul O'Neill drove his home run into right center field. And with a 5-0 lead, you thought the Yankees might be safe. They have blown only one 5-run lead all season. Plays it by the book. He looks at the numbers. He gambles. He'll take a chance. One of the largest crowds in Mariner history. Hoping that their Mariners force a Game 5. The Yankees hoping to wrap it up and head to Cleveland. Braves want to be headed to Cincinnati, where they would open National League Championship Series. 2-3-2, the championship series. First 2 there would be played in Cincinnati, and get ready for some drama in that one. Did not waste one, and Williams stays alive. Two strikes. Bernie Williams in this series has been outstanding. Some of you probably have not seen the Yankee center fielder much, but he has matured into one of the brightest young center fielders in the American League. The first player in Major League history. When it happened last night, all of us jumped to the conclusion that Mickey Mantle must have done it. If not Mickey, what about Eddie Murray? Home on both counts. First man in history right here. 1 ball, 2 strikes, and 2 out. Boy, that looked good. That was a good-looking pitch.
Wilson continues to shake his head. Wilson sitting right on the outside corner. That ball is belt high and had plenty of the plate. Rocky Road didn't see it that way.
So it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Line drive, base hit. Now the crowd booing the home plate umpire one more time, as with 2 out, Williams singles, and that allows Paul O'Neill to come to the plate. So that was a huge miss, if it was a miss, behind the plate. But winners overcome it. And the Yankees allowed this game to be tied on a throwing error. And now O'Neill steps in. 1 home run already tonight. Dino Martinez there at first base with Williams. Left-handed hitter Soto is pulled very close to second base. Pitch out.
Won't catch the Yankees doing that very often. They don't steal. Bernie Williams has speed, but doesn't have good base stealing instincts.
7th inning. The Braves lead the Rockies 10-4. Two at-bats left, regardless of what happens. Been some season for them, hasn't it? The fans out there have a lot to enjoy from that team, which was outside. Don Baylor doing a remarkable job of managing the team, and if he had a quality of all-star closer, who knows what might have happened in that series. And here the Yankees and the Mariners even in Game 4, with the Yankees leading 2 victories back in Yankee Stadium to the one fashioned by the Mariners and Randy Johnson here last night. Johnson striking out 10 Yankees twice this week. He staved off elimination for the Mariner franchise. Look down top the Kingdome with Williams on the dirt part and away, and missing on the outside. It is 3-0.
He'll be hitting. He's looking down at Willie Randolph. And even while he's looking, he knows he's got the green light if he gets one in his zone.
That is Nelson's best pitch. Here they come. 3-2. Got him on the corner. O'Neill not happy with the call. Jim Cott, I'm Brett Musburger. Nice to have you along here in the Seattle Kingdome. One of the largest crowds in the history of this franchise. They are enjoying their first postseason competition ever. Right now in Game 4, trailing the New York Yankees 2 victories to 1. They have tied things up here at 5 apiece after trailing by 5 runs. And Jim, they bring in the left-hander, Sterling Hitchcock.
A starter all year, made his first relief appearance in last night's game in over a year. Surprising thing coming in to face a couple of lefties. Lefties are hitting over 300 against him. That'll be interesting to see Griffey and Tino Martinez.
So now it is Joey Cora, hitting right-handed against Hitchcock here. Back in the 3rd inning, trailing 5-0. Cora dropped down a bunt, and things have not been the same since. A Griffey single, followed by an Edgar Martinez 3-run home run.
I don't know if Hitchcock is doing this by design. He is a starting pitcher, but yet he's working from the stretch as if he were a reliever.
And out of that stretch with a ball and a strike. Cora again shortening up the bunt, but does not, takes it for the ball 2. Showalter finishing up his contract as Yankee manager. It will surprise many of you that he has not signed an extension. The job that he has done there so long in this. Exhausted after last night and today. Been on an emotional high in a town that through the years has loved football, basketball, and now is discovering the joys of October baseball. Lined into the gap but short, and Deion James makes the first out.
Center fielder Ken Griffey.
Three of those 6 hits back in Yankee Stadium were home runs. Even though he's left-handed, Griffey welcomes Hitchcock. Missed almost half the season with that broken left wrist. She suffered slamming into the wall in right center field. Hit high and deep. Griffey's got it out of here. Oh, put it on the scoreboard.
Threw it away, and he hit it away. And knew it was gone.
Edgar Martinez with that huge 3-run home run earlier when they were trailing by 5. And for the first time, the Mariners lead on the kid's home run. Too far? No, he did not. That's Jim Evans, veteran umpire working over at first base. High chopper. Hernandez has got him. The second out of the inning.
You mentioned Lou Pinella's a gambler, Brent. Bob Wickman is heating up in the Yankee bullpen. But in the Seattle bullpen, nothing. Jeff Nelson has pitched 4 innings, longer than he ever has in his career. Pinella's going to ride him for a few more outs. Talks to Bobby Cuellar. You may see Charlton even get up a little earlier.
You know it, Jimmy. When you got a hot jockey, man, stick with it.
And Pinella will do that.
Tino Martinez. Speaking of jockeys, Jerry Bailey with a huge win on Your Horse Cigar today, picking off Thunder Gulch.
Yeah, a little easier time than these two teams today had trying to beat each other.
Indeed. On a 1 and 2 out. Tino is a bit of a nervous hitter there at the plate. His hands are moving, bat is wiggling.
Just the opposite of Toronto's John Olerud, is a very quiet hitter. Quiet hands. Some like to stay in motion.
So he fidgets and gets ready, and Hitchcock brings the break.
Now, a lot of hitters give you the impression they're almost like playing a clarinet. Wiggling those fingers.
Foul back. And I mean blocking it back. Mike Stanley. There's had a terrific night defensively behind home plate.
It's a swing you talked about going straight back, and when it goes straight back, Mike Stanley feels the brunt of that. That means the hitter was right on time. Just got under it a little. Belcher and Ayala.
Three, 2, and 2. Oh, yes. Hitchcock's got him on Uncle Charlie, but the kid's got the Yankees. It's Junior, and the Mariners lead it for the first time. We'll be back after this from our ABC
CTV, Channel 7.
Now for the first time, the Yankees come to bat in this game 4, trailing. It's a 1-run lead. Nelson still firing. Ruben Sierra is a strikeout victim of Nelson's last time. Nelson with 4 strikeouts. Maddox, and he has walked a pair.
This is where Lou Piniella wishes he had one more left-hander in the bullpen. Nelson has never pitched this long. Charlton the only one down there.
On that, he waits in the on-deck circle. Curveball, blasted down the left field line. And there's a double, a ground rule double for Ruben Sierra, and the Yankees with the tying run on at second base. And Mattingly 3 for 3 coming to the plate.
The high leg kick, and Nelson gets the pitch away, but Sierra, like we've seen so many left-hand hitters today with good plate coverage, and off that lively turf for an easy ground rule double.
So Lou Piniella coming out.
Interesting to see if he'll go to Bobby Ayala. Ayala was the closer early in the year. He's pitched ineffectively. In fact, he was the only player booed in pregame introductions by Mariner fans. And Tim Belcher's no favor to Piniella from his Cincinnati days. Ayala on your right, who has the outstanding forkball. This could be a combination of waiting for time. That's what it was.
Nelson will get a huge ovation as Tim Belcher trots out of the bullpen.
Not 54 Seattle, number 31, Tim Belcher.
Belcher will be in, and right now we send you to John Saunders. John.
As we get the pitching change between the Yankees and the Mariners, the Braves are 1 out away from reaching the series against the Cincinnati Reds. Let's join Al Michaels for the final out.
The Braves a strike away from advancing, a half swing, and they'll go to Cincinnati for the National League Championship Series. On a night when the Colorado Rockies score 4 runs off the premier pitcher in the game, Greg Maddux, and have a 3-0 lead, the Braves come from behind, win the game by a score of 10-4. And with Ted Turner and Jane Fonda looking on, they'll move to Cincinnati for the first game of the National League Championship Series on Tuesday. Maddux with the win. Pena wraps it up, and Fred McGriff, the big star tonight, with 2 homers and a single and 5 runs batted in. So Bobby Cox takes his team into the NLCS one more time. On to Cincy they go, and off to Bristol, Connecticut we go.
The Atlanta Braves on to meet the Cincinnati Reds in the National League Championship Series. Meanwhile, let's take you back out to Seattle, 6-5. The Mariners have the lead. Tim Belcher going to the mound. Let's join Brent Musburger.
Tim Belcher, who was involved in one of the great postseason games the other night back in the Bronx, that 15-inning classic which was won by the Yankees. He was the losing pitcher on Jim Leyritz's dramatic 5th-inning home run. And in that game, Ruben Sierra with a huge hit, tying the game, and only a great defensive play by the Mariners prevented the Yankees from winning it. And Jeff Nelson holds the line for 4 innings. Now Belcher will come in with Sierra at second base, and Don Mattingly 3 for 3 up for the Yankees, who are down by a run. Short enough to bunt with Sierra on at second base. May have been just bluffing to take a look. Jimmy Belcher has not had a whole lot of experience as a relief pitcher lately, but early on in his career, he did come out of the bullpen.
Worked a little for the White Sox in the '93 postseason, but primarily a starter. That's a little different mindset coming out of that bullpen. You usually like to have an inning or two to get into the game. Don't have that luxury coming out of the pen.
High behind third, foul territory. Flowers gives chase and cannot get at it. So a reminder that Monday night here on ABC, we've got a good one for you. The San Diego Chargers showing some life despite coming off a painful loss last week against the Kansas City Chiefs. 9 Eastern time. ABC's Monday Night Football, the Chargers and the Chiefs. Hope you got to see Steve Bono's wonderful bootleg against the Arizona Cardinals. The Cardinal linebackers are still looking for him even as we speak. 2 balls and 1 strike. The count on Mattingly with a tying run at second. Hit high, very playable. In the infield, Soho calls for it. So the Mariners rallying from a 5-run deficit. Edgar Martinez started it with a 3-run homer. Griffey Jr. a solo, and then Jeff Nelson with that relief outing. You can see what he accomplished. Mattingly making it out for the first time. And only 5 teams have ever overcome a 5-run deficit to win a postseason game. The most recent one, the Toronto Blue Jays. That was game 4 of the '93 World Series. You remember that one. You stayed up half the night to watch it. You'll never forget it. It was 15-14. Jays. Deion James.
Huge out getting Mattingly. The Yankees, one of the best teams at getting men in from third with less than 1 out. They failed in that opportunity this game, and Mattingly didn't advance Sierra to third in that at bat.
1-1, the count on James. A little bit low.
But Rocky Rowe has shown great composure as a home plate umpire. He's seen reactions from the pitching mound, and the crowd obviously wants every pitch to go the Mariners' way, and he's not wavered. And he has allowed players, I think, to show their emotions a little bit more than they would during the season.
2-1. Rocky was in an excellent frame of mind prior to the start of this game. You know, sometimes he can be a little bit rough, but Rocky was in a superb mood. He was watching the Fighting Irish down there against the Washington Huskies, enjoying a little football. Then he put on the shin guards, said, let's go to work. 2 balls, 2 strikes now with 1 out. Ground ball to second. Cora on the hop. Sierra moves to third base on the ground out. 2 out. Tying run at third base. And Mike Stanley, who homered last night for the Yankees. As a matter of fact, there have been 17 home runs hit in this series. Now that ties a record for the most home runs in any postseason series. But folks, that's of any length. 10 by the Yankees, 7 by the M's, and one of them belonging to Stanley.
And we've seen a number of conversations like this from the 4th inning on. Every at-bat is taken so seriously as if it were the game's last out. And Belcher and Wilson want to make sure they know how they will approach Stanley. Bosio still out here watching his teammates. He went 2 innings, gave up 5.
So now it's Belcher on the stretch with Sierra. 90 feet away from home plate. And Stanley. Set up outside did Wilson, and that pitch from Belcher got inside. chase, but it's well out of play.
Stanley has been a better run producer. Tim Belcher really, not that you need too much motivation in these games, but he would really like to make up for what happened to him in Yankee Stadium in Game 2.
The ups and downs of baseball. The highs, the lows. From one day, from one inning, from one pitch. It's 2-1, 2 out, and Stanley's ready. Hit high, but playable. The difference is camped under it. Griffey's got it. Mariners still up. And now 2 innings away from a Game 5. Well, Tuesday night on ABC, the postseason heats up. We begin coverage of the American and National League Championship Series. The Atlanta Braves at the Cincinnati Reds and the Cleveland Indians. Will they be the home team? Well, hold on. If the Mariners can win it, they'll be the home team. So a lot of drama still unfolding. If there is a Game 5 here tomorrow night in this championship series, we'll have it for you. And Andy Bennett's there on the left side. He came over here from San Diego, will be the starting pitcher.
Mariners gave up a couple of their top draft picks to get him, and there's David Cone, who the Yankees had to do the same to get. And he'll be the Yankee pitcher tomorrow if there's a Game 5. Wickman comes on here in the 7th for the Yankees.
Jay Buhner slaps one, base hit, left field. Third in Yankee pitcher. Scott Kamienicki working the first 5, turned it over to Sterling Hitchcock, who gave up the home run to Griffey.
Now you look for Mike Flowers to do some damage, but he's called on to sacrifice earlier in the game. This would be a situation where Piniella, you would think, would try the same thing to get an extra run.
So now Flowers with Buhner away from first. It's amazing that they have paid as much attention to Jay Buhner as Vince Coleman here.
Now that's Buck Showalter's managing style.
Of course, one reason why is that Vince Coleman hasn't been on first base tonight. But otherwise, you get the point, ladies and gentlemen.
And there's Lou Piniella. But now Flowers may have missed a sign. I was going to say, there's Piniella. One time you don't think he'll bunt, he bunts. This time you would think he would, and he may have missed a sign. Sam Perlazzo, the third base coach, running down to tell him about it.
Deep in the corner and out of view of Buck Showalter. Lou Piniella. Now Flowers. Foul. 1-1.
Wickman's a low ball pitcher. As you see Buhner nodding, he's got the sign. You got a low ball pitcher you can make contact with. It's also a good hit and run situation.
Flowers did send O'Neill to the wall earlier in this game. The Yankee right fielder making a nice catch out there. Popped it foul, and now there are 2 strikes, and Flowers so far has not done the job.
Much more calm manager than at any time during his career. Of course, one of the more volatile players. Sitting back enjoying it.
A ball and 2 strikes. He was not indicating the 2-strike bunt, was he?
He'll be swinging here.
And now Wickman steps away. There's big Norm Charlton.
I said to Lou, would Charlton be available today? He said, and tomorrow. Yeah, you got a hot horse throwing well. He's going to ride him as long as he can. And Charlton did not pitch a lot for the Phillies, so it's not like he's wearing him down. There's plenty of bullets left in there.
Steve Howe.
Bullpen coach Tony Cloninger going down the Mariner lineup.
Flowers steps back in. Mariners 6, Yankees 5, bottom of the 7th. And again, Stanley quickly moving outside and showing how good a defensive catcher he is here. Count is full. Buhner is the runner. Flowers the hitter. Wickman comes set. On play.
Buhner did not go with that 3-2 pitch. Manella not wanting to risk the strikeout throwout.
Chopper to second, Velarde. Hernandez, the throw back, not in time at first. The lead runner out, one away now, and Soho the hitter. There are not many. The last one, a very painful memory for Chicago Cub fans.
One in 82, very painful for Gene Mauch and Angels fans. That was Harvey's Wallbangers, the Milwaukee Brewers, 1982. Harvey Keene.
So Luis Soho steps in against Wickman here with one out.
He's had some week. You look at the perfect night and got that double down the right field line off Langston to put the Mariners in the division series.
And he's just keeping shortstop warm for young Alex Rodriguez, who is over on the Mariner bench and who will inherit that spot come next season. But right now, Luis Soho is trying to help the Mariners get into that championship series against the Indians. They must win this and again tomorrow.
Again, I got to believe we will see a hit and run at some point during this sequence. Soho taking a long run, a long look rather, down at Sam Perlazo.
Flowers has been getting a good lead, Jimmy, if they want to do it. 1-1-1. Tobacco is chewed in October than any month of the year. There's young Alex Rodriguez out of Miami, #1 draft choice, great career ahead of him. Hit to right field, O'Neill drifting in under it. There are two out with catcher Dan Wilson coming to the plate.
Catcher Dan Wilson.
Piniella probably not wanting to lead off the next inning with Wilson. He'll take his chances. To the bottom of the 8th with Coleman, Cora, and Griffey, the very top of the order. He can give himself his best offensive chance, because every hitter the Yankees send to the plate now represents the tying run. Broken bat. Mattingly's got it. The Yankees with 6 outs to go trail it by a run. Tony Fernandez and Randy Velarde do up. 1-run game going to the top of the 8th inning. The New York Yankees with the 8 and 9 hitters. Tony Fernandez and Randy Velarde do up. And then it is the top of the order. This crowd will be back tomorrow if they can hang on and force a game 5. If the Yankees win, they go to Cleveland and open the ALCS on Tuesday night against the Indians.
And if you get to the top of the order, you referred to Norm Charlton is ready to take on those Yankee left-hand hitters.
Here is the MCI proof positive replay. Scott Kamienicki, the Yankee starter. Line shot right back at him. And that's the MCI proof positive replay. Tony Fernandez now, 1 ball. Let me correct myself. I missed a pitch there. It's 2 balls. Check swing. Soho in quickly. 1 out. And the Mariners are 5 outs away from game 5.
Looking forward to tomorrow. Andy Bennis charting the pitches today. 7-2 as a Mariner since coming over in the trade.
It would be Bennis and David Cone as the starters. And of course, that affects the Yankees greatly. Why they want to win this so much here today is have Cone ready for game 1 against the Indians Tuesday night. Belcher snapping it off.
That's some heat right there. There's some adrenaline today with these pitchers taking them out. You see that in postseason play.
Rocky Road with a lot of help.
I want the double latte concession tomorrow to get these fans ready for game 5. I mean, they've got to be exhausted.
Only if I can have the beer concession tonight, Bugger. Two.
Set up outside, and that's for Belcher threw it just out of the zone.
It's full. And the tying run is on base for the Yankees here as Velarde draws a walk. We're going to go to the top of the lineup. And Wilson is already looking over at that dugout, and here he comes. Lou Piniella with Charlton ready down there in the pen, and Charlton is on his way. As Charlton gets ready, let's us take a look at some upcoming ABC programming. One thing you can always count on with baseball, it will always in the postseason bring you those final inning moments, the drama that you're going to remember, the great confrontation between pitcher and hitter, the tension reflected on the faces of the players, the managers watching, everybody concentrating. Mariners must win to stay alive. The Yankees need a win to have Cone ready, and Blackjack McDowell, who went with some strong innings last night, figures to get better with his next outing, which would be against Cleveland. Wade Boggs ready to come on now against Charlton. A hitter like Boggs and a pitcher like Charlton, Boggs may elect to go early.
Field reminding Randy Velarde, watch out for the line drive. Take the second baseman out. All those little bits of advice.
One out. Velarde at first. 8th inning.
So on the graphic, Charlton has given up 1 hit in this series. That was that dramatic home run to his old teammate Paul O'Neill.
Last night, Charlton got a measure of revenge. And now he's behind in the count on Boggs. Base hit. And the tying run moves up to second base. And now coming up, Bernie Williams, who will turn around and try it right-handed. He homered from both sides of the plate last night.
And this is the side Williams has more power, on the right side.
This could be the confrontation. First and second, trailing by a run. Williams, Charlton. And Charlton has not brought his sharp control into this yet.
Look how deep Vince Coleman is at left. I mean, he has no chance to throw out Velarde, but the key outfielder as you pan around there is Jay Buhner. One of the strongest and most accurate throwing arms in the league.
Got the pitch. Williams thought it was a little bit too low.
So did Buck Showalter.
Velarde's away from second, and now Williams asks for time. He'll settle back in. Great stop by Wilson. Prevents Velarde from moving up to third base. Dropping down and blocking that ball. The drill they teach all young catchers.
Yeah, Charlton threw him about a 57-foot forkball. And look how Wilson gave up his body. He wasn't interested in catching the ball, just keeping it out in front prevented the runners from advancing.
So the former goalie shows you his style in the nets, and now Charlton will come back to work. He is not sharp. 2-1. Hit to right field, very high. Drifting back is Buhner. Back to the warning track and makes the out. Velarde tags, and Buhner will hold the man at first base. First and third now with 2 out. And here comes a drama that has been unfolding all series long. In Game 2, back in Yankee Stadium, the Mariners attempting to close it out, and Paul O'Neill came up and rifled one. The worst pitch he made was that one. But last night it was Charlton who dominated O'Neill. And now the former teammates come back one more time. Velarde is on at third, remember. And Charlton jumps ahead. Breaking ball would tie it. Wilson checks the dugout. He's been getting a lot of help throughout this game. A long work week for Charlton. O'Neill. Out of play.
Buck Showalter wants to get the winning run in scoring position. He could send Boggs right now. Probably going to be a breaking ball. And he's sending out the sign.
Whether or not to throw through on a ball. If Boggs decides to move, or is told to move. A ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Bouncer gets away, and here's the tying run. We're all tied up. And now Charlton has to run it down. They got a break. That ball ricocheted off Rowe, or the Yankees would have had a runner at third base. So the wild one gets away, and we are tied in the Kingdome.
An indication Charlton, as you said, not as sharp, really tried to throw that fork ball down. Wilson had no chance to get that one. And Velarde slides home with a tying run.
Now Boggs is at second. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. As the tying run scampers home. But again, another one, but this one is blocked. And the count is full, and Wilson is absolutely worn out back there right now.
That's a sure indication that Charlton, with all the work over the last few days, has lost a little of that flexibility.
This is the one I want to see, because I want you to watch what happens on the throw back to the plate. It hits there, ricochets away, and it glanced off Rowe, and that prevented Boggs from moving to third base. 3-2-2 now. Another one, and he's got it stopped, and he has walked O'Neill, and now Ruben Sierra and Lou Piniella and the Mariners must be thinking about Charlton and his control problems right here.
Now, Lou said he was going to continue to use him as long as he could. His arm was sound. I don't think there's anything as far as the arm injury, but all the innings, and he's lost a little bit of that flexibility. They're going to allow him to face Sierra, who's been a better left-hand hitter than right-hand hitter.
Boggs, the go-ahead run, on at second. Deadlocked at 6. 2 outs here in the 8th. I don't think Wilson ever had a tougher hockey game than what he's experiencing right now. I mean, the heat is on him behind the plate.
And Charlton doesn't want to leave it up in the zone. He doesn't want to take a chance on hanging one, so he's going to keep on throwing him down near the knees.
He desperately needs a winger to break out and set something up at the other end. Get the pressure off. The struggle continues.
All the strikeouts and all the hits, and it's taken a wild pitch to quiet this crowd. It's like they all left.
It's amazing. Two balls, no strikes with 2 outs. And now it goes to 3-0, and clearly Charlton doesn't have it here today. But a dilemma for Piniella, because the next hitter, if Sierra walks, is Don Mattingly. So it was 6 straight balls before he finally threw a strike. Now Sierra's ready. Fouls one away. The count is full. And right now, no one is asleep in Seattle. Dashed home, and we'll go to the bottom of the 8th, even at 6. Buck Showalter has just decided to go with his closer, John Wetland. So he dashes in out of the bullpen to close out. That'll give us an opportunity to remind you, Monday night on ABC, Jeff Fahey stars in a brand new episode of The Marshal. And then we'll have our Monday night football game. Arrowhead Stadium, key AFC West matchup. The defending conference champion San Diego Chargers take on the Kansas City Chiefs. That's right after the Marshal on Monday night. There it is, the Chargers and the Chiefs, 9 Eastern time.
Real indication, Brent, that Buck Showalter wants to be able to save David Cone for tomorrow and avoid Game 5. You don't often bring your closer into a tie game, but Wetland is in, and he has been spectacular in September. But there's a confrontation coming in this inning that happened a month and a half ago. And the Mariners, in fact, in this series, they have defeated the Yankees 10 times this year. Pretty unusual to have 4 wins in your last at bat. That's what the Indians normally do. But here we are in that same setup, and one of those, of course, was the dramatic home run that the kid hit, his first ever home run to end the ball game. And we're going to see that again in this inning. Wetland will face Griffey. Lou Piniella talking with his bench coaches.
Jimmy, you mentioned it. And as Wetland finishes his warm-ups, let's take a look at it.
This is the one in the Kingdome when the Yankees had come back in a wild game, 2 out. August 24th, that ended it. most important home run in Seattle history.
This one back in the Bronx. And for a time, it looked like Griffey had stung him a second time, but Ruben Sierra tied it. Jimmy Leyritz won it. And now Wetland will come on in here. Bottom of the 8th inning, and Vince Coleman, who has been kept off base today, stands in. But he threw it hard. It just sailed on him.
Cheating now. They refuse to get up till it's a 3-ball count. First 7 innings, they were up every pitch.
Exhausted. An emotional roller coaster from watching TV out of the Bronx to this. And now, 3-1 to the leadoff hitter, Vince Coleman. So the Braves head into Cincinnati, having wrapped up their divisional playoff, 3-1.
Interesting to see how Lou Piniella plays it here. Wetland is very easy to steal against. He can have Coleman go, bunt him to third, then they're going to walk Griffey. So if he uses the bunt, you're going to take the bat out of the kid's hands.
But you'll leave it in Edgar Martinez's hands. Joey Cora now. Shortens up, drops it down. Beautiful bunt. Mattingly can't get him. Cora's safe. Mattingly had Velarde at first base, and he elected not to throw it to him.
A perfectly placed bunt, and you rarely see Don Mattingly make 2 defensive miscues like he has today. Cora, in going around the tag, injured his hip in the process, but for the Mariners, well worth it.
Now let me hold on here. Did he come out of the line? Let's take another look at this replay. Buck Showalter is out here with Jimmy Evans and Rocky Rowe right now.
You can see where Cora ran out of the line, but the upper part of his body may have hung inside that retaining wall. See, the feet are right there. The left shoulder may be inside the line. And Buck Showalter satisfied with the answer he got.
Here it comes, ladies and gentlemen. And in the bottom of the 6th inning, with the game tied, right center field, Hitchcock and the kid tag one. That was the difference until the Yankees tied it, and now Griffey is back up, and there is no place to put him. That's how important that play was at first. You must pitch to Griffey now with runners on at first and second and nobody out.
anything, so he wanted to make sure what Rocky Roll called the pitch.
It's hard not to hear Rocky. Deep drive, but foul!
They said in September the timing wasn't quite there after the wrist injury, but it sure is in October. Looking fastball and well ahead of it.
Shortening up to bunt, and Griffey is hit. I believe they're sending him to first base. He shortened up to bunt, and Wetland hit him. The bases are loaded.
Now,
and this will bring Showalter out in a New York minute.
Yeah, they're going to claim that Griffey attempted to bunt the ball. And it certainly appeared that he did. The last minute he pulls the bat out of the way and the ball hits him in the foot. And again, Buck seems satisfied with the answer from Rocky Rowe. Did he go? No, he held up just in time.
Talk to Wetland, and at the same time I think he's going to order somebody to get up and get loose.
He may want Gerald Williams to come in and play left field. Deion James is out there right now. Also going to talk a little bit with the infielders, shouting the instructions to Velarde.
I think I see Gerald Williams down in that dugout dashing for a glove. And I think you were right on, Jimmy. Here comes Gerald.
Yeah, you want a stronger throwing arm. Deion James in there for his left-hand bat. James coming out. What that conversation was about, Brent, what Buck wants his infielders to do right now is play deep enough where if you get a ground ball, you can still get the out at home plate. And this turf at the Kingdome is very lively, so you don't have to play quite as shallow as you would on a grass infield. You'll still be able to get the man at home.
Jimmy, due to the length of our ball game here, the Jeff Foxworthy show will not be seen tonight on ABC. Bases are loaded. Edgar Martinez, the leading hitter this year in the American League, who earlier today in the third inning with his team down by 5 powered a 3-run home run into the left field seats to start Seattle on its way back. And Gerald Williams allowed to take a couple of throws in the outfield, and now we're getting ready to go. Everybody out, bottom of the 8th inning, bases loaded. Here's Edgar Martinez against John Wetland. His middle infielders back. Velarde and Fernandez back. The count 2 balls, no strikes. High in the air behind first base and playable in foul territory. Velarde with his back can't make the play. It probably saved a run from scoring anyway. It was going to be a hellacious throw from down there as you came up over the pitching rubber down there in the bullpen.
Yeah, I would have traded an out for a run, but with John Wetland on the mound, he has that potential to strike even Edgar Martinez out. So it's just as well for the Yankees the ball wasn't caught. Right near the bullpen mound, and Velarde can't quite get to it.
The count, 2 balls, 1 strike. Nobody out. Bottom of the 8th, tie game.
Like the calmest guy in the park.
Steve Howe comes in to mop up Tino Martinez. After Edgar Martinez slam puts the Mariners up by 4. Shell shocked. The Yankees jetted to the Northwest up to after a 15-inning classic. But this series has featured a little bit of everything. And here today, the Yankees quickly build a 5-0 lead. But the Mariners refuse to die. Position, and that is the first out of the 8th inning.
Brent, I've been thinking this wild card's bad for baseball. Just doesn't create any excitement. Wow. Unbelievable.
This is a game for the fans. Bring on the entertainment. Jay Buhner stands in.
That's been their battle cry. You see those signs all over Seattle. Got as many of them as Starbucks coffee stands. Refuse to lose. Troubles continue.
Flowers drills one. Fernandez slickly fields it on the throw. Safe at first. Wow. Jim Evans looking right there. Did Mattingly lose the handle? Here comes Showalter.
I mean, it's a 5-run lead, but that is a remarkable play by Fernandez. Unbelievable throw, and it appeared to be right there. Evans must have thought Mattingly pulled his foot off the bag. Look at what he gets on that throw, throwing against his body. No, he was out.
Oh, no question. That's a bad throw by Jim.
Well, fortunately for Jim Evans, it didn't happen in a 1-run ball game. Clearly out.
Now, here's the dilemma that Showalter faces. The man he's down there with is going to be, as it now appears, behind home plate tomorrow night. Now, how do you want to leave your relationship? And Buck says, well, that's enough. I'm going to go on back right now. But clearly, mistake is made.
Mattingly has the ball. Runners on by a step.
Well, Edgar Martinez, 7 RBIs, 2 home runs, 1 a grand slam, and 7 RBIs in a postseason game is a record for any single game. Edgar Martinez, we've been telling you all along that he's an overlooked great player out here in the Northwest. As I showed you today, 11-6, so rams a single into right field. Now you are seeing enormous holes in the Yankee relief pitching. Steve Howe has been serving up some batting practice his last couple of outings, and even before that.
Speaking of bullpens, Brent, you looked at tomorrow's starting pitchers. The Mariners now with this comfortable lead. Lou Piniella, even though Bobby Ayala has really struggled lately, it looks like he may trust him with the 5-run lead, or at least 5-run lead in the 9th, and save Charlton for tomorrow.
Wilson's high hopper to Boggs. Relay by Velarde, and that time the double play for the Yankees, but not before the Mariners score 5. Lead it 11-6. Soho is down at second base. Hold on just a second before we break away. On that play at second base, there was an injury. And quickly, the training staff goes down.
It looked like he caught it on the right forearm. And whether he caught it against Velarde's body, Rick Griffin, the head trainer, checking to see whether Soho can grip, can move the fingers, and he is in pain.
Well, the Mariners looking over at that dugout and hoping that they have Fermin, who's eligible to play. Obviously, they've got the shortstop of the future, who is on the active list, but coming off to the side. We will come back after the break. We will show you exactly what happened. Well, Jimmy, this is what happened down at second base as Soho was coming in.
As Randy Velarde makes the flip, watch how he comes down right on Soho's right wrist. He did not cut him, didn't get him with the spike, but boy, it looked like it was hanging limp coming off. You see him right there. Big blow for the Mariners.
So Fermin moves in to play shortstop. Felix Fermin, utility infielder for the Mariners. He'll be out there at shortstop. Don Mattingly, the hitter here, taking a strike. Norm Charlton is still in, and there's Fermin, who now must step in, and if there's anything seriously wrong with Soho, perhaps the biggest start of his career, as Mattingly drives one into right field. This will be off the wall. Buhner with that strong arm. Mattingly's going nowhere. But did you see what Buhner did out there? That's how he got Velarde yesterday. On that pump fake completely. He was waiting to see if Mattingly might not take too big a turn at first. And now we're going to have a pitching change. Watch Buhner out here in this outfield play.
Yeah, he comes up and then up. He catches his foot. Doesn't throw. Yeah, the hand is for Charlton. We'll see what the reaction to Ayala will be.
So this 1995 Division Series game is brought to you by Smooth Bush Beer and easy drinking Bush Light, the makers of Advil, and Gatorade Thirst Quencher. Nothing quenches that deep down body thirst better than Gatorade. Top of the ninth inning, 11-6. Don Mattingly with his fourth hit is over at first base.
Yeah, not as sharp tonight, Norm Charlton. Control wasn't there. Mattingly turned on. This is an interesting situation for Bobby Ayala, who was the closer at the start of the year. And just has not pitched effectively, and there's no safety net down there now. You see in game one, just a third of an inning, 4 hits and 3 earned runs. When you come in as a setup man and you know Charlton is down there to pick you up, but now pretty well his game. The only pitcher Piniella has left down there, Bob Wells. And of course tomorrow, as we talked about last night, when Randy Johnson came out after 7 innings, you could read Lou Piniella's lips, and he said, now I could use him Sunday. And if they have to tomorrow, you will see the big unit late.
So our genuine Chevrolet player of the game, we don't even have to peek. You all know, ladies and gentlemen, a postseason record, 7 RBIs. Magnificent hitting again from Edgar Martinez. A 3-run homer when they were down 5. A grand slam homer when they were tied. You can't hit any better than that. I don't care who you want to go back and look at. That's unbelievable hitting. Down 5, a 3-run homer, and tied, a grand slam. And here's our first look here in Seattle at Darryl Strawberry with Edgar watching, and the crowd aroused by this with Mattingly on at first. Pinch hitting for Ruben Sierra, the free-swinging Darryl Strawberry. Deion James had gone out, remember. I think I said Sierra, obviously, is not batting for him. It's Gerald Williams that he has come on here to hit for. And what about Strawberry?